Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
And welcome to another edition of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Ricky, and as always, I am joined by my good friend and brother, Clive. Good evening.
Good evening, Ricky, and if I don't see you, good night, good morning, and good afternoon.
Why would you not see me?
It was a Truman Show reference.
I don't get that. I don't really get it. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. We have a guest with us tonight. We were initially supposed to have two, but one of them couldn't come on. So we have Rance returning again. He is 1/3 of the Outsider's Edge. Good evening, Rance.
Good evening, guys. I see it started already. The hate from Ricky to Clive has started, and we're not even 2 minutes in.
I'm not even a minute in.
Well, luckily, because of the adverts for Powerslam.tv at the start of this, it just went over 2 minutes, so there you go.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure if that's a dig at me for not plugging it straight out the gate, but I'll do all that at the end.
No, it was just a cheeky attempt at a plug, to be honest with you.
Well, now since Clive brought it up, you can get a free month of over 4,000 hours of independent wrestling from across the globe on Powerslam.tv with the promo code Social Suplex.
Well
so,
done.
Moving on. We may also have a little guest appearance later on in the show, but we'll see. Before we get kind of going through the card and discussing each match and then maybe moving on to Raw and Smackdown, well, I certainly want to talk about Raw because there was a return or a debut, however you want to put it, it got me quite excited. But Rance, just quickly, what was your overall thoughts about Extreme Rules?
Home run. On a weekend where almost every major company had a major show, they stole the weekend. Extreme Rules was the best show of the weekend. And most people would, especially in this era where everybody criticizes WWE, I'm sure most would think that that's a shocking revelation, but no, I think most people would agree. Extreme Rules was the best top-to-bottom show. They had an amazing show.
Clive?
Yeah, coming out of it, I hadn't really thought about comparing it to other shows, partly because I didn't really see most of the other ones. I saw some of Evolve, but I was very, very satisfied with about 90% of the show. There was 10% that irked me, but I will touch on that a wee bit later. It's a soft 10%, put it that way, but overall, once I was saying on Twitter the other day, they've quietly been putting on a really good year of pay-per-views, and it's continued. You've had, I won't add Super Showdown into the equation, purely I've just not seen it, but from many accounts it's not that great. Money in the Bank, Stomping Grounds, and this one here, Extreme Rules, that's 3 in a row. Pretty solid wrestling throughout the night, and more often than not, it's one of those ones where the booking leaves people happy. So, count me satisfied. Colour me satisfied.
Yeah, I'm more in agreement with Clive. Well, probably both of you. I would say the vast majority of Extreme's kind of made me happy, gave me a satisfaction type feeling. There's one thing especially that, I know it's polarising. I wouldn't say the Brock Lesnar thing put a dampener on things or left a sour note or anything. I think for me it was just, but it is what it is. We're kind of beating a dead horse here when we keep talking about it, but it's something we need to discuss. But overall, top to bottom, it was certainly, as Rance said, a home run. It was more than solid. Like I say, overall, really loved it. I never had a chance to watch Evolve. I've not watched the AEW show. I watched night 2 or day 2 of G1, and I would think overall, in comparison to the both, I don't think there's much between them. But for Extreme Rules alone, like I say, there may probably only one negative to come out of it, in my opinion. So I think we may as well just touch on that straight away. So we had Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I think the major talking point is obviously what took place after the match. Mm-hmm. But what were your thoughts on the match itself and then the subsequent cash-in?
Rance?
Well, Baron Corbin is a heat magnet. We've been talking about him for a while now. He could unbutton his shirt and he'll get heat. Like, it's skill. Like, he truly has honed into that skill. I feel like a bunch of people, myself included, were kind of really souring on these two feuds. Not because they weren't good, but like they had reached their past due date. Like, I was tired of seeing Becky square off with Lacey. I was tired of seeing Baron square off with Seth. So this was a really interesting way to put them together and do something different. I think I was also skeptical of going into this of Becky and Seth on screen because they have no chemistry. None. I mean, I'm sure, like, I watched, like, Sheamus's Brave Change videos and some of the stuff they do online. Like, they have chemistry. They just don't have it on screen.
Uh-huh.
But the match was fun as hell. Lacey's really green, but they covered up a lot of that. But letting Baron get that heat by giving her the end of days, bro, I jumped up and I screamed at the TV.
Yeah.
That popped me so hard. He gave her the end of days, called Seth a little piece of shit.
I know.
And then Seth proceeded to beat the hell out of him. It was tremendous. I loved every minute of it. So it was a really fun end to the night. The right people won in the way that they should have won. And then, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about the Brock Lesnar thing not right now or not.
Well, first, let's see the whole... As that end of days was happening, before Becky sort of ran up to thinking, oh, wait, they're going to do it. And they did it. And I thought, wow, that was a moment to remember, that one. And there was even a delayed reaction with the crowd. It was oh, wait a minute, you're the piece of shit here, basically. And just calling out Seth Rollins after the fact. It made Seth Rollins turn into superhero guy. Curb stomps all over the place. I really enjoyed how that match finished. I didn't see much of any greenness from Lacey Evans on Sunday night, to be honest. I thought she did well. She has a few unique moves that sets her apart. I thought Becky was really good as well. She had a good night. She took that accidental chair shot right to just a cheekbone, was it, roughly?
Kind of like her eye, like right around that area, yeah.
Yeah, she took it like a champ, and the end of days as well. She sold that like a trooper as well. So not many complaints. There were a few minutes of downtime, but I thought the setting up of the tables between both Becky and Seth was just a bit. You might not get this, Rance, but some Chuckle Brothers to you stuff going on there. A bit unnecessary, but overall, I was quite entertained with the match. Ricky?
Yeah, like, the match itself, I felt was fine. The End of Days is still one of the best finishers, in wrestling, I think.
Nobody's ever kicked out of it, by the way, still to this day.
I absolutely love that finisher. I've always says, like, I'm not a Corbin fan whatsoever, but I always give the credit where credit is due, and we mentioned it last week. Corbin always seems to rise or certainly play his part when it comes to tag matches. He done that again when he hit End of Days on Becky. Man, she's fucking deserved that for a long fucking time.
Preach, brother, preach. Yes.
So, yeah, and it's not us hating on Becky, but like you said, me and Clive have never really been on the Becky hype train. And that's not us hating, because I was the one that says at last year at SummerSlam, as big as the Charlotte mark I am, when Charlotte win, it felt like the wrong woman win. So, I'm happy that, like, I agree with Rance. I'm happy that these two feuds are done. The thing that got to me, just in general about the feuds, was how Lacey Evans was got 2 more title shots, because the last time she lost clean.
She's lost clean every time.
And even Corbin lost in a somewhat clean fashion, because Lacey was clearly on the side of Baron Corbin until Becky came down and kind of evened it up a little bit. So, yeah, the match itself, like I say, it was fun. But the Lesnar cash-in, just, it's like, we're back to having that same discussion again. What are we going to do when he's away, and who's going to ultimately dethrone him again, and then what's going to then happen after that? Because the whole UFC thing is done. Like, Lesnar's here now.
Yep. So, are you sure he's not going to be there consistently? Now, every week, I don't want him to be there every week. I don't want him there every week. Like, I don't need to see every major star every week. But consistently, I feel like he'll be there more. Brock has been on TV consistently this year, 2019, more than any year he's been there since he's been back.
It was pretty absent before WrestleMania, but since Mania, he has been.
Even in he's there on screen without doing much. It's still he's there. But one thing, Clive, your camera's turned the other way, so we can't even see you. But anyway,
there we go.
My issue with the Brock thing is, I would like to see a little bit of like diversity and something different with his matches. Too many of his matches kind of are too similar. I know, like, for instance, if you go back and look at the Finn one, especially the Finn match at Royal Rumble was in hindsight it sounds stupid, but when it was happening, like, I was genuinely thinking, dear Lord, they're going to actually put Finn over here. And I didn't really feel that way about a Brock Lesnar match in a long time.
Well, the Bryan match made you think that. The AJ match made you think that. Smaller guys do that to Brock. Brock loves selling for smaller
guys. But those are like, the AJ and the Bryan were like a year apart. Like, it's not even, like I said, it's not the fact that Brock's on the title. Like, if he defends it every pay-per-view, and he might, and like I said, he's been on TV a little more. I just want to see something different, and I'm not entirely. I wasn't that big of a fan of Seth versus Brock in the first place. I loved the way they done the WrestleMania match. I loved how they fed into the fact that we all believe Lesnar doesn't want to be here and he's only there for the money, so they came out and demanded we're going to do it first up so we can leave, kind of thing. I loved that. I don't know, like.
Can I say this? I'm sorry, Clive. I just want to say this. At least let them finish telling the story. The story was never finished. Seth essentially stole the title. He kicked him in the dick. Literally, that's how he won. He kicked him in the dick and then snuck up on him with like 3 stomps and stole the title. That's why Brock has been stalking him literally since Money in the Bank. So now that Brock got the title back and they're going to have, hopefully, their blow-off at SummerSlam, which Seth will probably win, we can be done with that and move on to something different. But, like, I hate it when they build a story and the Brock, I think This might have been the last time I was on this show. I talked to you guys about it. The Brock Seth story was literally 4 years in the making.
See, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
See, people know we've got quite an infamous episode where we basically spent a whole hour and change talking about the Brock Lesnar problem.
Yes. And you have a chant that everybody gets.
Sorry to cut you off, but it's at the time, if people go back and listen to that episode and you go back and look and see what was happening on TV, what we said, everything was true and was justified because he really wasn't on very often. He went months and months without appearing. But
with what happened on Sunday, Paul Heyman said he was coming down the Monday beforehand, and then the Kofi match happened on Sunday, and Brock Lesnar hadn't appeared, so I thought, right, Brock Lesnar's going to be coming down for the main event, and he did come down. Now, I will admit, I was angry at the pinfall moment when Brock Lesnar retained the Universal title. I was pissed off, and I thought, here we go again. One positive was for me that it wasn't Kofi that was the victim. I think the fan backlash on that would have been quite brutal. But what you just touched on there, and that's why I was wanting to come in with this. Brock Lesnar lost the WWE title in 2015 because of a cash-in from Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. And as you say, that was 4 years ago. And they've had back and forth with each other. This kind of started at the Royal Rumble 2015, when you think about it.
He was the first person to show Lesnar's weakness with his ribs, yep.
And then they had the Battleground match where Rollins was running away. Then the feud reignited again, and they've had this on-again, off-again thing for quite a chunk of 2019. New Japan fans would call that long-term story, long-term booking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Preach to them, Clive. Preach.
I'm embracing the kayfabe of this one as much as I can, because I know that if I take the kayfabe hat off and I start moaning about Raw again, then I'll just not be happy, and I try to emotionally distance myself from it and just enjoy what the stories are instead of all the backstage stuff. This was all kayfabe, and it's Brock Lesnar getting his own back from 4 years ago, and it's just been an ongoing story which, in my opinion, as you would agree, Rance, it's not finished yet, so I'm not as bothered by it as I once would have been.
And I'll tell you this: I will come back on this show if Lesnar doesn't drop the title to Rollins somewhere in the next month or two, before we go to Fox. If Lesnar doesn't drop the title to Rollins, I'll come back on this show and I'll give the shit of all shits on Brock Lesnar. I will. You can write it down. You can book the show now, because he's gonna lose the belt. This is just a means to an end to elevate Rollins to another level, because Rollins has never beaten him clean. This time, Rollins will beat him clean, and that'll be the passing of the torch.
See, that's
not
what
the
I'm
passing of the torch, but you know what I mean.
That's what I'm not too sure about, whether there will be a quick exchange of the titles again. But taking that part aside, I can't deny that there's been good. I mean, okay, Vince and creative might not have actually foreseen this 4 years ago, but I don't really think Goto and the likes will have foreseen their long-term booking 4 or 5 years in advance. So it's just quite lucky that this has happened, and you can retroactively say, this was the story the whole time. I've got no problem saying that.
So my only issue, well, two issues, right, is I don't hate Les. So I don't hate Les as much as I used to. I openly say I've kind of done like a 180 on him, and I'm now. It was a Royal Rumble match with Finn, and I think it was more so the way he was selling for Finn. I was like, guys, he's fucking great. He really is, and he's always been a great seller, if not the best and one of the best sellers in that company. My issue is what Rance touches on, and in fact both of you do. I need to see it now to believe it, because I've been programmed to think, or not even to think, I've been programmed that Lesnar turns up when he wants and will just mow through the competition, and I have serious doubts and hesitations whether Seth will ever beat him clean.
Unless it's a stipulation match.
There's only been, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 people who have beaten him clean since he came back. What was it, like 6 years ago?
Triple H and Goldberg.
Cena.
Cena.
And I mean,
Roman didn't even beat him clean. Like,
I don't know,
properly clean-ish. There was a little bit. So that's why I would hesitate. Where I don't know if they'll give that to Seth. And I know a lot of people think that Brock might move over to SmackDown when the Fox deal kicks in. What's the Raw network? Is it
USA?
See, I can't see them being very happy with that either, saying that they lose Roman and Brock. And I know they've got the wild card rule, but I can't imagine having Brock and Roman on the same show, potentially vying for the title, because then that means that they're going to kind of almost be exclusive to that one show. We need to wait and see. I think ultimately, in terms of, I think it's a good wee segue into it. I think ultimately we're going to see Kofi versus Roman, and I think that's the match. We don't ever deserve anything, but I think that's the match. That's the match we deserve. When it comes to wrestling, we don't deserve anything.
Wait, is this the Outsider's Edge or Ricky and Clive?
So, I know, like people like to say that we deserve this and that. Well, no, you pay it, and what you get is what you get, and it's up to you whether you want to kind of pay it. I understand there's a difference between it. Well, I paid money for something and I've not gotten what I wanted, but whatever. But I think ultimately we're going to get Roman versus Kofi, and I hope Roman doesn't go over.
Well, Roman's ultimately going to go over. So
I say that because the fan backlash is going to be worse than it's ever been.
I disagree because Roman is majorly cheered, and I think that he's been back long enough to where most of it isn't just because of leukemia. Roman's done good work since he's come back. Roman's been put in good situations. Yeah, but I mean, he's been put in good situations. He doesn't talk.
I think the reason why I say that is because it's Kofi.
Right, but again, no, okay. So if he wins, if they wrestle the first time and he wins, alright, cool, I can see that. Well, but like if they do like a trilogy, and Roman finally beats him after like the third match, you know what I mean? Then you could be like, okay, well, it's time. Plus, everybody understands that Roman's the biggest star in the company. He's back on full-time grind. Kofi had an amazing title run, and I'll be the one to be controversial and say I think they made sure to book Kofi this strong so that when he gets with Roman, it's not looking like it's a mismatch. And that's no diss to Kofi whatsoever. But if you would have put Kofi versus Roman for a championship a year ago, we would have laughed. And that's not a diss to Kofi. 6 months ago, absolutely, like Royal Rumble time. But Kofi has become legitimately one of the top 5 stars in the company. Not just in fan response, but in the ring, he beat AJ clean, he beat Bryan clean, he beat Owens clean, he beat Ziggler clean. He's beat everybody that they brought up to him.
His new nickname should be the Cleaner.
Well, you got a greasy haired Canadian in that company in Jacksonville, so I don't know.
So call me crazy, right? And I'll segue into the Kofi Joe match. Kofi versus Roman at WrestleMania. I think there is a chance Kofi holds the title that long.
Oh God, no! Not even no. Go on. Kofi Kingston? You think Kofi Kingston? You think a black Ghanaian man with dreadlocks who does twerks and plays with pancakes is going into Fox as the world champion? It's not dog. Come on, bro.
Is it that bad?
I'll even go one further and say, I know this is Clive's gimmick. He will lose the title on a TV match.
People are convinced he loses it on the first episode on Fox, but a lot of people felt that was when Brock would cash in.
But that's a ratings. That's ratings gold.
So unless they announce it So do you think it will be Roman that ultimately takes the title from him?
No, I don't.
Who you think it'll be? That's a good. Okay, that's interesting.
The other one that comes to mind would be Randy Orton.
Yeah, but I think they've understand that Orton is. They're using Orton in the way that Orton should have been used the past 5 years.
Yep, I like Orton now.
You know what I'm saying? Bring him in for big matches, let him be dangerous, let him just hit the RKO, and then go do his MAGA business wherever he wants to go.
He's funny on Twitter as well.
He is. Clive, sorry, you were saying?
I don't know who will be the one to take the title from Kofi, but I just don't see it being Roman.
You know what I'd like to see? You two will love this. You two would love this. If you do run with Kofi all year, Ali has to win the Rumble.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That's coming full circle.
That's a real full circle moment. Because Ali versus Kofi at Mania?
You don't even need to allude to it at all on the storyline, because we all are, because we think we're quote unquote smart, we all would get the backdrop to that story. We would all know what that story is, because ultimately the belief is that this should be currently Ali's spot.
Absolutely. And nobody has to be heel.
No.
Well, I'm just going from past experience with Ali versus Alexander, both faces in the WrestleMania match, and it was not great.
There's a drastic difference between Cedric Alexander and Kofi Kingston.
Hey, Cedric Alexander beat Big Drew Mac clean the other night.
Oh, by the way, for those people who said that they would never even bring that up again,
Aye, that was... It's just...
So, we took a long time to segue into it. What were your thoughts on Kofi and Joe? Sorry, Clive, you want to say something?
I was just chuckling.
Alright, so what were your thoughts on Joe and Kofi?
It was a step above the Kofi and Dolph Ziggler match, has to be said.
The steel cage match?
It wasn't the best. I would probably say, again, sadly, it might have been the weakest match of the night if you exclude Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler.
That doesn't count.
But the Samoa Joe had a job to do. He was there to basically inflict pain and punishment. He wasn't there to put on a 5-star classic. He was there to just punish Kofi, and he did a good job of it. But Kofi with another clean win. So it seems to be a trope that they're relying on right now, though, with Kofi, where he just gets destroyed in his matches and then it comes out on top at the end. It's actually quite weird seeing someone win with just one finisher used these days, to be honest with you. It's the
way it should be.
Yep, such as the WWE.
It is a kick to the head, though.
Well, tell that to Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano.
Well, look, we know. Look, they're batting. They're wrestling from the Shawn Michaels book of overselling. So we understand that.
I just thought of a joke for the end of the show. Thank you.
Rance, what are your thoughts?
Joe got to win one of these days, bro. Like I don't want to bury the lead here, and like I know you want to foreshadow and get to that later, but we're gonna talk about your boy later, Rick, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And one of the big issues with Bray was, and I've argued against this, is that he talks more hot shit than anybody in the past 15 years, and like literally never won a big match. And he had to go away for a year and a half, dog, to get his heat back. Joe talks more hot shit than almost anybody besides Bray. It is even worse because Joe's out here talking about he's gonna get with your kid, get with your wife, and be the new daddy to your kids and all this stuff. Joe gotta win one of these days, dog. The match was cool. It was what it was supposed to be.
Yep.
Kofi needed to go over. Joe needed to look strong. But one of these days, bro, Joe got to win.
He has to.
It's not even winning like a title. It could be any title, but it's more so who it's against now. Because like you say, too many. Like you say, AJ, you know, Brock, now Kofi, run through them all the kind of quote-unquote Roman, all the big guys, big superstar or big names he's faced, he's lost. So at some point he needs to come up against like someone of the calibre of, say even if it's Kevin Owens or someone, and he has to go over and he has to win. Because like you say, at some point you're going to have to walk the walk.
Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe isn't a bad feud.
That's what's great about the Kevin Owens kind of face that we're getting. Like it just opens up some new matches, fresh feuds, and the promo battles alone will be worthwhile. So yeah, like I say, it's now at the point where it's gone beyond kind of like this is terrible or shocking. It's just now you just kind of laugh and give credit to Joe, because when he comes out and talks, like, he makes you believe, despite the track record saying that he has no chance in hell. But yeah,
speaking of,
he's another one who should be treated better. But you know, there's only and this is what we all get caught up in. There's only a certain amount of spots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have everyone going over, but I think like he's been quite hard done by, because he's not won any big feud.
Well, he hasn't won any main event feud.
Speaking of someone who doesn't win the big feuds, let's just take away that point for a minute and allow me to gush over my match of the night, which was the Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley match. I was very excited about Aleister Black and Cesaro, but this one for me was what I was wanting it to be. Just cartoon violence, Bobby Lashley being suplexed into a wall, which was basically what happened. The padding of the merch signs didn't really do much. The launch into the foreign announce team table with no nary a warning for any of the foreign announcers. Funaki's still buried under heaps of rubble, I'm sure.
Poor Sean Ding. Sean Ding still trying to get out of there.
Mm-hmm. And the Rougeaus are incommunicado, and that's not even French. I just loved it. It was just chaos from start to finish. Big burly men, monster versus bear. Excellent. Loved it.
Sorry, Clive, FYI, the first match for TakeOver has been announced.
Which TakeOver?
NXT UK.
Let us have it.
No, I don't want to.
No, because it will be on the telly, won't it, tonight?
It's on tonight. So I'll catch it tomorrow, I'll catch the episode tonight or tomorrow. But Rance, I'll hit you up separately if you want.
Please do, because I stumped you guys on the NU question.
I think
a couple weeks ago.
Is it the title match?
It's a title match, yes.
Oh, if it's a title match, I bet you I know what it is.
It'll be Tony Storm and Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you just spoiled it for some of the listeners.
Well,
they've been building to that for like 2 months.
I sincerely hope that the listeners watch NXT UK before listening to us.
I sincerely hope Kaylee Ray wins, and that's just us being biased.
Do you know?
Well, with Jazz is by her side, so she'll be fine. She'll probably end up winning.
Jazzy's with Ginny.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I'll go over here and shut up in my American side.
It's all right. It's not a problem.
You know, it would be quite cool if we eventually got Piper Niven and Kaylee Ray. Yes. Remember they had the
Queen of Insanity.
Yes, last year that we were at. It was quite good. That was quite nice to see. But so I agree with Clive. The match kind of gave us what we wanted. Just violence, two big men throwing bombs at one another. Like we said, you weren't going to get like a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels type kind of match. It was just going to be two monsters. And I honestly thought the last few weeks that, after the Extreme Rules had finished, I thought they were maybe going to look to maybe build Braun up again and maybe have him challenge Brock Lesnar, but I don't know if we're now at the point where maybe we're past the point of no return here when it comes to Braun. Is he that damaged that now we can't possibly have him in the main event again? So, yeah, so we'll move on. Obviously, we've got Owens and Ziggler. There's not too much to talk about there. I want to move on to the opening match of the night. So I'm kind of just jumping around here. So, opening match, Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Shane and Drew McIntyre.
No. The best in the world.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I always sacked for that. This absolutely stunned me.
You were shocked at how good Taker looked?
Yes. And I get it. We don't want to see Taker wrestling. We understand it. But he was in the ring with guys that were actually mobile. Drew's a monster, but moves around the ring like AJ and Mustafa Ali.
Absolutely.
Shane, like, I understand, like, for instance, of the other half of the Golden Lovers, Kyle is not a Shane fan, but I think we can all appreciate the fact that, yes, he doesn't have, like, the wrestling background or whatever, but he comes in and for what he is, like, alright, fine, you know, it's I don't have that many complaints because I can understand that we're never going to get this great wrestler. So he just comes in and does what he wants. Now, should he be on his TV as much is a different matter, but there's no point complaining about his in-ring ability because his in-ring ability is as good as it's ever going to get in terms of who he is.
Well, he is an accomplished wrestler.
Yes.
He's not a trained wrestler. There's a difference, but he is very accomplished.
Definitely. I think when you look at the guys that Taker was in the ring with, yes, there's I'm not advocating for Undertaker to come back or anything like that, but when you see the kind of performance he put in on Sunday, it does make you think, well, the Goldberg match was a car crash, but it's not like he was able to. Goldberg can't do the stuff that Drew can do. He was never able to do. And then you go back and you continue looking at it, and I've always been a believer, and I've said it for so long, I think I've always say it, Taker needs someone who's going to kind of like fly around the ring, etc. You can't put him in the ring with these monsters again. And I know Drew is a bit of a monster, but like we say, Drew flies about the ring. The best part about that match was when Taker was giving a tombstone sign, slitting his throat, and you just saw Drew emerging from behind him. That was unbelievable camera work, and it was just. And Drew tweeted the gif of it. It was just, that was beautiful, that moment. I thoroughly enjoyed that match.
Well, I think the thing that sets this match apart from a lot of his previous matches is that, and this is blasphemy, but it's fact, now at this stage of the game, Taker needs someone to lead him. Right? I think the problem with the match you're right.
I was reading Carl's message.
yeah, I figured that's what you were doing. The problem with the match in Saudi Arabia, there was a multitude of issues with that match. One, Taker was leading a guy in Goldberg who isn't used to wrestling longer than 8 minutes, and then hasn't wrestled in 2 years. All that. Then who got concussed in the middle of the match. On top of that, being in 100+ degree heat, it was just a really bad mix of things. You could say the same for the old man matches he had with DX and with Triple H respectively. But this match was, I got a young stud on my team who could be the face in peril. I got a young stud over here who's going to lead me on offense. And then I got somebody in Shane who's willing to just bump whatever I want to do to him. It was a perfect mix in this scenario. So I don't want to see him anymore, but I'm okay with I'd be okay with seeing him and Drew at a Mania or a SummerSlam situation, and kind of, because I love the fact that Drew is playing up to this, kind of like Punk did at WrestleMania 29. I'm not scared of you. Mm-hmm. Because everybody is scared of Taker or shows some level of fear. But those are the only two that come to mind who never showed any. In fact, Drew was waiting to fight Taker and Shane pulled him away.
Sorry, Clive, I'll let you chime in a second. To piggyback off that, it was when Drew initially tagged in. You kind of saw Drew put his head down to like sort of dropped his head and just sort of marched towards Taker and threw his hair back and just stared at him. And I was like, this is why we love Drew so much. And I'm just kind of, do I want to see Taker versus Drew? Let's see it. Maybe he's got a little bit more in the tank than we thought, or was it more so the fact that he was in a tag match and he was able to get spelled, etc., etc. So, look, not advocating, like you say, to see Taker again, but based on what we saw on Sunday, if he's going to be in another tag match or anything, something similar, then yeah, bring it on. Like I say, the match was enjoyable.
I will be honest and admit I didn't see much of this match.
Clive, see once you've finished your thought, can you add Robin? Can you add that person?
Call Roman.
If you can add that person in, and we'll get them in.
I will do. I didn't. When I found out that this match was going to open the show, I thought, right, here we go. We have about 10 minutes of fog machines and lightning and stare downs and stuff, and I thought, do you know what, I'm actually not that buzzed about this match, so the fast forward button was well and truly smashed for this one, so I've not got much to add.
Funny you should say that. The match started at 16 minutes into the pay-per-view.
It's actually not that bad, considering. I think with Drew McIntyre, he seems to be kept away from the title picture, and he seems to be in attraction matches. So you've got like the Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, the Shield versus the Dogs of War matches, this one here with Shane McMahon again. He's in those upper mid-card attraction ones, so maybe Vince sees him more of an attraction rather than the title picture. I think there is a difference between the two, and I think it still paints. I think Vince still sees respect in him in that respect, just because he's not getting titles left, right and centre. I don't think it's a bad thing. Right, I'll add Roman in then, okay? Give me a wee second, so feel free to move on to the next topic, Mr. Host.
You adding Roman, right?
You're adding some static in as well.
Next up, we'll go with the Usos versus the Revival. Now, we'll let Clive do his thing because I'm eager to hear from him. But Rance, what were your thoughts?
Well, I've long held out the theory that the Usos are the best team in the business, and they continue to show that. But man, isn't it good to get an unfiltered Revival, like not in the 5-minute matches anymore, really out here to get good matches? And the best part about what I love about the Revival, and we have, guys, we have the best in the world to thank for this. They got a gimmick now. Mm-hmm. They're not just the guys who can wrestle and like to hug each other a lot, but they have a real gimmick.
Oh, because the reference on the commentary team as well.
Yes, and Renee hates them. Renee went off at them because they bought apparently coffee for everybody in the Starbucks, and like that was like the heel move of all heel moves. But no, I love the fact that the Revival are getting real time, and we're talking about this, and all of this will be a moot point when they get squashed by the Viking Raiders in like a month. But nonetheless, it was good while it lasted.
So
great match, by the way.
Very good match.
Wonderful tag team match. I enjoyed this tag team match more than a certain other tag team match in the same weekend, and I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna say.
My 2 cents is it's nice to kind of see the Revival that we loved from a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, they were just meandering through, not doing anything. "Quote unquote" reports suggesting they were unhappy or they were going to leave or whatever nonsense. And it's nice to see them being showcased. And look, if you're not going to get much fight from people if you turn around and say they're the best tag team in the world, like they're that good. The Revival.
Okay.
They're not mine, but I would certainly put them in the top 2 or 3.
Well, you know, nowadays, in the past 3 years, since the Revival was last relevant before now, there's a lot of good tag teams in the
That's
company.
what I'm saying. Like, I think when you make that statement, I think you need to, and you can't really, but you're going to have to kind of excuse the nonsense and the shit they've been going through the last few years, and kind of say, if everyone's at their best, who is ultimately the best tag team? So that's when I say, when people are at their best and at their peak, who's the best tag team? And they are up there with absolutely anyone. And like I said, it's just nice to see that again. So Clive, I know you want to speak, but I want to introduce our next guest. We have dear friend of the show and making his return, I think it's the third time in about 6 weeks, Mr. Rab Ropes. How you doing, son?
Hey.
Did you just call him son?
I know, I was going to say mate and then I said son. Son just came out.
Ricky, you sound a lot better.
Yeah, I actually am. The cough's gone. Hay fever's still here, but the cough is gone. That's the main thing. So, Clive, I'll quickly ask you your thoughts on Usos and Revival, and then I'll bring Rob into it as well.
Not much to add from Rance. That it was a very good tag team match. I don't know what match Rance is referring to, if it's from a different company or not, or if it's the other tag match from the night.
I'll never tell.
All right, okay.
AEW.
All right, I'll need to bleep that out. That word's not allowed on this show.
Oh, okay. My bad. Gotcha.
But I will just say one thing about this match. Ricky, I told you last week, the Revival are infinitely better than the Usos, and this scripted playtime, play fight result that went in their favour proved that. There you go. That's all I've got to say on that.
This is like last year when you were trying to convince me that Carmella was better than Asuka.
I don't think I ever did try to convince you of that.
Oh, whatever.
You were high on the Carmella train, though, bro.
You were very high on that.
True, Rance. True.
Anyway, Rob, so we've broke down Roman and Taker, we broke down Usos Revival, Braun and Lashley, Kofi, Joe, and the mixed tag match. We've got a few matches left, but overall, what were your thoughts on Extreme Rules just as a whole?
Top to bottom, I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of the show. I thought it was fantastic. I don't think there was a match on there that I didn't enjoy. It had some great moments. Like, you guys know me, I'm Mr. Nostalgia over here. I enjoyed seeing Taker be at his a little bit towards his best. I mean, the best that he can be at this age and in this condition. But he was moving better. He definitely looked motivated. Can't imagine why. But I popped onto this call real quick when Rance was speaking on the Revival and about them having a gimmick now. And I don't think I've shared too much of this with you guys in the past, but I don't like the Revival. I dislike the Revival.
I'm shocked. Oh my God.
And I'll tell you.
Hold on. What?
I will tell you exactly why. It's because of what you said about them not having a gimmick. To this point, they've been a Brainbusters cosplay team to me. They have not shown me anything. Granted, I'm not the biggest NXT watcher.
Okay,
I'll watch
fair enough.
The big event. So seeing them on the main roster, they have been completely underwhelming, and maybe that's due to booking. But I have not enjoyed the Revival to this point. But what they're slotting into now, being the classic heel, having this like them drinking the champagne and hanging out being Shane's underlings, I do like that. That's something I can sink my teeth into.
Good.
So here, this is where I differ from Rob, and I know I differ definitely from Rance in this aspect. Give me the blandest character ever, but is just a machine inside the ring. So, yes, and I think like Bret Hart doesn't fall into that category, but Bret Hart, the character and his aura, whatever you want to say, his character is nothing in comparison to, say, what HBK or Ric Flair or Taker. But when I say Bret Hart is the greatest of all time in my mind, is because I'm talking strictly what he does inside the ring. So that's where I differ. I know I differ from Rob now, and I differ from Rance in that sense. That's why when it comes to the Revival, I've always loved them, because I've always been like, you're that damn great in the ring, I could care less about the character issues. And the character issues have been terrible since day one. Well, outside of the actual debut, because when they made the debut was sensational.
Yeah.
But like I say, that's for me. I would not so much accept, but I'm more of the, I'd rather see the great wrestler with the terrible promo skills rather than maybe the other way around. And the only exception to that has been Bray.
Well, and the only difference, the difference in what you're saying and what Rob and I are saying, is that a straight wrestling gimmick works singles because the spotlight is on you. It doesn't work in tag because it's spotlight on two people, and those two people had to get another team over, which is what the issue the Revival had. And that gimmick, that old school gimmick, worked in NXT because there's a lot less people watching them.
Their gimmick in NXT was basically saying over and over again, we are a better tag team than you, and they kept proving it. So they backed up what they walk the walk as well as talk the talk.
100%.
And that sort of goes hand in hand with Rob saying as well, though. It's like, if they'd come in from day one and they just kind of ploughed through all the talent, they could just go on the mic and say, we're better than you, and drop the mic, and you'd be like, hey, well, that's your gimmick. Your gimmick is you are superior to everyone, and you prove it, but they've not proven it.
But they wouldn't have plowed through on the main roster because people, the highest paid and most popular wrestlers are the ones that can talk you into the building.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually they were going to have to do something outside of the ring. And Rob said it perfectly. They've been an Arn and Tully cosplay their entire career, but now they're really doing Arn and Tully because they got the fancy clothes and they hold the belts like them and they got the shades, and Dash is out here looking like they're really living vicariously through Arn and Tully now.
Did Kyle just come on the call?
Oh, my bad. That was for Kyle, by the way.
Well, if there is any positives from what's been happening with the Revival, and it's gained a fan, maybe not a fan, but a tolerator of them, then good for you, Rob, for enjoying the Revival a wee bit more now.
A wee bit more is a good way to put it.
So moving on.
Well, let me jump in real quick. This is just a run-in for me. I've got to go see my wife off to school. So I wanted to say thanks for having me on. Rance, I'm coming for you. I'm going to mess with Texas. I'm going to knock you out of this tournament.
And I might have given you all this love and you talking shit. Okay. All right.
This is my quiz time gimmick. I have to live it. And I also wanted to say fuck Mike Ashley and fuck Steve Bruce.
Legend.
Thank you for your contribution to the state of the EPL right now.
Thanks, they're in terrible shape. Are you going to go right now, Rob? Yes.
Apparently he dropped the mic and left.
He literally did. That was just a fleeting visit from Rob. So, moving on. What did I say? Bayley versus Alexa and Nikki.
Can we just tell Bayley to go home for like 3 months? Can we switch Bayley and Sasha and let Bayley go around the world and let Sasha be back?
Why?
Man, look, Bayley is awesome. She's a good in-ring wrestler. She is a role model to little girls. But you know how most people felt about John Cena like in 2008? I feel that way about Bayley. I am so annoyed, and I don't even call it annoyed. I am so disinterested in her. And it's not her fault, because they keep putting her in the shittiest of shitty situations.
I've quite enjoyed this Alexa Nikki Cross thing, I'm not going to lie.
Have you enjoyed Bayley and Alexa and Nikki Cross, or is it Alexa and Nikki Cross you've enjoyed?
Probably. That's a good point. However, Bayley looked very strong on Sunday night.
She had to. This is the first time they've really given Bayley a sustained, genuine push, singles by herself.
I just think that Alexa and Nikki Cross were doing the heel tag team thing, frequent tags, wearing Bayley down, and it was basically getting the knees up for Alexa's sparkled, what's that called?
Twisted Bliss.
Twisted Bliss that helped it. Sparkled Bliss helped her get into the match, back into the match. It doesn't set the header alight for me specifically, but I'm content with Bayley's title run at the moment, and she's offered the next shot to Ember Moon, who is dynamite in the ring. So I think we're going to get a good match. I don't see it changing hands, but I'm happy. I've not really got much to say on it, but I'm quite content with it all.
That's probably the word I would use, content.
Yeah.
I've always loved Bayley, always will. Bayley versus Ember Moon, the match is going to be great. The build, that's the issue. Yeah, the build's not going to be great, but I think again that just it falls into what I was saying earlier on. Like, it ties into what I was saying earlier on. Sorry, that characters and promos and etc. I can live with that being not that great when I know the match itself is going to be great or very good. So I'm expecting the match to deliver. So therefore, I'm not expecting much from the actual build to it. If they had a good build, obviously it adds to the epicness of the match, but I know the match itself should be good, so that'll make up for however lackluster the build may be.
But this is SummerSlam, bro.
I know.
This isn't like Extreme Rules or Stomping Grounds or He Got Big Balls That Are on Fire pay-per-view. Like, this is the second biggest show of the year, and both of our women's feuds are gonna be like, hey, we got these matches, come watch. Like, no. And Ember's from Houston, well, from Dallas, but we claim her, so she's from Houston. Like, I love Ember. Ember was looking thicker than a frozen milkshake. Like, it was excellent, but you got to give me, and they got 4 weeks or 3 weeks, however long, and maybe 5. You got to give me something better. And then we know Bayley is the worst talker. The only person that's worse than her on the microphone is Kalisto. And we know he's the worst talker ever.
Have you heard Oney Lorcan on the mic?
I thought he was going to say another female there, and I was going to just put an end to the podcast.
No. I love Oney so much, though. But yeah, he's not very good.
Oh, he is.
That's why Danny Burch talks for them all the time, if we're honest.
I mean, Oney Lorcan talks, how he tweets, it's just all big block caps.
Capital letters.
Uppercase.
But you believe him, though, right? Like, he's legit crazy.
That tweet that he sent out saying, I was watching Extreme Rules and my father asked, how is Samoa Joe doing? That was brilliant.
Oh, I love Oney Lorcan so much. By the way, 205, that should be Drew Gulak's next up.
Probably. Just a quick point on 205. The match that Tony Nese, he looked a bit rattled on Sunday night, actually. There was a couple of mistakes. I don't think he was expecting the Philadelphia crowd to be as hot as they were for Gulak and to be booed in the process.
That's a mistake on Tony Nese if he genuinely believed that. Gulak from fucking Philly.
He didn't expect the guy that he's trained with for like 10 years, who's from Philly, and wrestled in Philly the night before, to get a big reaction in Philly as the champion in Philly.
Maybe I'm wrong as to the reasons for why Tony Nese was rattled, but he missed a few spots. He just seemed to not... He was in fourth gear, but it was... the seatbelt was off.
To compare that was like, say, someone who came out at NXT UK in Glasgow and was rattled by the ovation that Joe Coffey got and thought that wasn't going to happen. When we all knew we were going to everybody was going to be jumping up and down when Joe Coffey came out.
Credit to 205 though, not only did they have a really good match between Chad Gable and Jack Gallagher this week, but Drake Maverick finally had enough of Mike Kanellis and punched him and drop kicked him and chased him out of the ring, and Drake Maverick announced on Twitter that the only way Kanellis is going to get a title shot is if he wrestles Maverick himself. So general manager Drake Maverick finally putting on the boots, so to speak. That was quite the swerve. Enjoyed that very much.
And he really wrestled like he had a drop kick. Yeah, it was a great spot.
Yeah, I was more. I wouldn't say I was more satisfied with that happening than the Chad Jack match, because that was really good. Just so unexpected. So it's been so long since we've had a long promo battle between two guys on 205 Live, basically since the Neville days.
Early days. Oh yeah, sure.
Neville and Enzo, I would say as well. A promo slap bang in the middle. It was on for a good 5 minutes or so. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. Caught me off guard.
So, would you say the goal is Gulak and Gable for Mania?
I thought this was just was this not either a one-off or last appearance for Gable? Did they not say that?
I don't know.
Have I just made that up?
I think so.
I just made that up then.
Well, that would suck because Gable could run 205 if they let him.
Yep. Just give him the keys to the office, basically.
Right. He could book it. He could do the paperwork, and he could wrestle. Absolutely.
Yep. And he can give people some face towels.
Well, he's very adept at his towels.
That's another one. I don't know if we mentioned him from last week. Who would like on NXT UK? I would like to see Gable. Like, that would be, he'd come in as a face. And I'm not saying it's possible, but if we're just talking about people who aren't doing too much, that would be one. But I thought I read it somewhere that this was just a one-off or a last appearance on 205 for Gable. I've clearly made that up.
I would welcome him with open arms more frequently, but you're right, I think Oney Lorcan is next in line. That would be lots of uppercase tweeting there.
Okay, doke. 3 more to go. We have the 3-way tag match.
Loved it.
Sorry?
Loved it.
I agree. It was a great match. Great match. Much preferred this match than the Raw tag title match.
How dope is it that the New Day all are champions? How dope is that?
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, neither did I.
Me neither.
It's excellent, and I know I saw someone mention on Twitter. I know how the New Day done. They had the Freebird rule. Is that still going to happen now, or is it just going to strictly be Xavier and E?
I'm pretty sure, unless maybe one of them gets hurt. Knock on wood. But yeah, because Kofi's a little busy right now. Like Kofi, you know what this reminds me of? You know, like when you're friends with two guys who are who are like a grade younger than you, and like you graduate, you're like, hey, we're still boys, but like I see y'all when I see y'all. That's Kofi right now, because like Kofi's like, hey, you my brothers, but I got some shit I got to do over here. So,
can I just say about that tag match? Eric Rowan to a lesser extent, but Daniel Bryan over the last 2-3 months has made heavy machinery out to help them become superstars and belong on the main roster. I think they've had a great couple of months. I don't know how long it will last. They've had their moment in the spotlight. It might not continue as much as it has been, but credit to all parties involved. It's been an enjoyable wee couple of months for the SmackDown tag team scene.
It's funny, Daniel Bryan's made stars
left, right and centre.
Yep, in the last 3 months. Like, Kofi was a huge part, like the main part obviously, but Daniel Bryan more than played his part in elevating Kofi and getting him to where he was as well. I said it last week. I'm ready for, as great as Daniel Bryan is in this tag team, I'm ready for him to become a singles guy again. He's just so damn good in everything that he does.
We'll see.
I didn't know. I was looking forward to the announcement on SmackDown, which didn't come to anything. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when he comes back as a singles guy.
The announcement was that there was no announcement. Bum, bum, bum.
Shock horror.
But yeah, overall, enjoyed it. Like I say, surprised the New Day win.
I'm sorry, but real quick, by the way, Otis is amazing, but Otis was gone. He was gassed as hell like after the first 2 minutes.
Was
he was, oh my, you know when they did the little thing where him and Tucker were doing the repeated run back and forth up the ropes? He could barely run, dog. He was done. So, like, you got to work on that if you're going to be a main event tag team, bro.
Yeah. Which one of the Viking Raiders was the one that runs the ropes? It's actually a move that I don't like, but he does the turnbuckle clotheslines over and over and over again.
That's Hanson. I guess
that's some
he's
stamina
Irish
right
now? Yes. No, Hanson is ridiculous. Hanson is the 305 Live. He's a 305-pound flyer.
Yep, that's some crazy stamina. But you're right about Otis. Too many steaks and too many weights.
Right, so moving on. Second, we've got two more matches. Ricochet and AJ Styles. I've enjoyed the feud.
Yep, same here.
Really enjoyed it. I love seeing heel AJ. Gallows and Anderson, we touched on it last week or the week before, that they have a purpose now. They're being showcased. They're on TV. They're doing stuff. Fast forward into, I think, was it Monday? The way Ricochet sold the phenomenal forearm was fucking excellent as well. Actually, this was really all three of these matches I've enjoyed.
What about the Styles Clash, inverted Styles Clash from the second rope?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
The sort of inverted Styles Clash from the second rope on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. That was lovely.
Basically, Ricochet's they've been beating the hell out of him for the past 3 weeks. So,
destroy them.
And by the way, I have something really controversial to say about the club that I probably won't say on air. So remind me to tell y'all when we get off the call, when we get off the air. But it's crazy how invigorated AJ looks all of a sudden because with his boys again. It's crazy, isn't it?
No, like, I'm here for heel AJ all day. And like I said, I'm looking forward to where they're going to go with this next. They've got so many different things they could do now with AJ being a heel. And what they could do with the club.
I remember when we thought AJ was going to be the next Ricky Steamboat. Like, he's never turning heel. Back in the TNA days, like, AJ Styles heel? And now he's a better heel than better heel than face. It's crazy.
I know. I think Ricochet's been presented well throughout all of this as well. He's been beaten up a lot, but he's getting a spotlight at the moment. He's got that sympathetic babyface thing going on. He's got that moveset that wows the crowd and gets people off their feet. I think Ricochet's going to do well for himself, I would say.
You know what hurts him though, and this is just me being petty, but I really want you to think about this. What hurts him is every week he's getting his ass beat, and then when he comes back out, he still does that long ass entrance where he stands like this for like 10 seconds. Like, if you keep getting beat up, bro, just come to the ring, dog.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
You know what I'm saying?
To liken that, like, remember...
Maybe he's doing Ken Kennedy's waiting for the microphone to fall from the sky.
Like, it's kind of when you say, remember AJ and Joe, how it started off, and then eventually when they got to Australia, Joe never even hit the ring, but AJ's music hit, and then they started brawling in the aisle. It's like, as you say, it's like that. At some point, you know, the light needs to go on, and you just go, right, it's all, I'm all about business now. Yeah, but no, fun match. I've intentionally kept this one to last. This was the one that me and Clive are most excited about. And for me, yeah, I would say hands down it was my match of the night.
Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura, yeah.
Fuck no. Alistair Black.
You see me playing the violin. That's what I thought you were talking about. But yes.
Nah, I'm not even going to talk about that. The Finn dropping the title. Sorry, if people, I know we don't listen to reports, but apparently he's asking for time off, so maybe that's why that was done. But I'm wanting to talk about Alistair Black and Cesaro.
Feel free.
We hyped this up so much last week.
Mm-hmm.
It lived up to the hype. Yep.
Rightfully so, yes.
It lived up to the hype. I am so glad when on SmackDown that Alistair Black didn't lose. Dude shouldn't be losing. Like, he should not lose for a long time. You built this thing up so much, even to the point that some people were like, can we just get to the fucking match now? It's, you know, it's just kind of, it's starting to plateau a little. Yeah, man, this just lived up to the hype so much. Like, my excitement levels were through the roof for this match. And normally when my excitement levels are that high, sometimes the match itself lets it down because I'm that excited about it, I'm that hyped about it. This didn't. Yeah. But I said, for me, this was hands down match of the night.
Alistair Black has got such an explosive moveset that a lot of the times it still feels as if it comes out of nowhere. And that Black Mass is the proverbial RKO out of nowhere, where it can just happen when you least expect it. The high knees to the face. You really don't know what he's going to do next. And that was very, very evident in the match with Cesaro. The only thing that I wanted to happen on Sunday night was for Cesaro's gum shield to come out, but it came out on Tuesday, so they fixed that. But I was very, very happy with that match. Just brutal.
I actually think they ran it back because his gum shield didn't come out.
right,
Because I think that was like the goal of it being Cesaro, was to show how vicious that finisher is. But his nickname is the Swiss Cyborg for a reason, because he's not human. Did you see when he caught him by his knees and tossed him up and hit him with the Swiss Death? Like, he's not of this world, bro. Like, neither of those guys are human. It's ridiculous. That reminded me of the Cesaro Sami Zayn matches if Sami Zayn turned Punk in golf. Because when Cesaro and Sami Zayn wrestled in NXT, right, those were some of the best matches we had seen ever. And they just upped it with this one because Alistair is like literally a lethal weapon.
He is. That's the best way to describe him.
You know, what we spoke about earlier on, he could be the one, depending on how long they keep the Kofi title reign going, could be the one to end it. Just depending on how quickly they want to manoeuvre him into that position or how long they want to keep the title on Kofi.
Alistair could be the next top star.
Don't tell Carl that one.
Do what?
Don't tell Carl that one.
Well, I mean, you know, he's still worried about, he says his catchphrase too much.
I know. Nonsense.
Your favorite wrestler, his favorite wrestler never started a promo without saying, "Hey, yo," like, bro, chill. Hi, Carl. I know you're not going to listen to this.
So we can say whatever we want.
I'm looking forward to finding out where he is this week.
Oh yeah, I got to call him to see what country he's in now. He's in Asia. So, you know, it might be Myanmar, aka Burma, or, you know, Papua New Guinea or some shit.
He may be able to catch some G1
live.
He wouldn't watch the G1 show if they gave him a ticket and gave him the car to go watch the damn show. So, like,
have you got any more thoughts from Extreme Rules?
The very funny moment when it sounded as if Renee said Shane's fucked when she did.
It really did.
That was hilarious. And she said it with such, like, epicness. She's like, "Oh yeah, Shane's fucked."
Because there was like a split second as well where it went silent and you're like, "Oh my goodness, was she supposed to say that, or what happened?"
It helps that Graves and Renee are genuinely like real life best friends, because they just go at each other all show because they know they're gonna laugh about it afterwards. Like the small package line that he hit. Mm-hmm. That was excellent. So I know Graves looked at her like, "Did you just say that shit?"
Yeah, with regards to the Finn Nakamura match, it was alright. I'm more interested in what could possibly be with Ali taking on Nakamura heading into SummerSlam.
Yes.
I really hope they put that title on that boy.
Aye, that would be good stuff.
Well, isn't the money in the chase with Ali?
Yes, it is. You are spot on. So we haven't even tested him having a title. He never had it in 205.
Yep.
That's what's kind of shocking.
Yes.
Because when you think of 205, for me, the two people when you say 205 that come to mind are Neville and then Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Give Buddy Murphy some respect.
He made an appearance on Tuesday.
Murphy. I was so happy.
He made an appearance on Tuesday.
I felt like a proud parent.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, Rance has been long saying give us Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black.
I would take
Please.
that.
We'll get that soon.
Injected it in my veins, right here. You see me, right here. See it right there in that vein. Give it to me.
The battle to see who has the best V-trigger in the business.
I never thought about it, but I guess technically Aleister's knee is a V-trigger.
Well, yes, but they're not as good as Mandy Rose's. Let's be honest.
When Mandy Rose hits that thing is clean. Like you cannot not give her credit for that.
Mandy Rose has improved.
Right, so overall, we all loved Extreme Rules.
Yes, I adored it.
You what, sorry?
I adored it.
Yep.
That's big. That's big talk.
And it's not hot shit talk either.
So, moving on. We've touched on Seth and Brock. We're going to get that rematch at SummerSlam. Do you want to talk about what took place on SmackDown?
What?
In fact, specifically the opening segment of SmackDown.
I would like to talk about it for just a second, if you will indulge me, because the crux of the beginning of the last Outsider's Edge spoke to exactly what they did. Recently, in these past few weeks, they have gone out of their way to showcase all this talent that hasn't been on TV or has been underutilized, or all of these things. So in one segment, Liv Morgan got a little rub and got a match. Buddy Murphy got rubbed and has when him and Kevin Owens go at it, that's going to be fire. Andrade and Apollo got to further their match and let Apollo talk. Apollo don't ever talk. Like, they got so much over. And don't think that Kevin Owens promo when he last week, when he came out and kind of hijacked the show, wasn't exactly scripted for this moment. Because that's the reason why they did this. Because they know we got all these people that's waiting to come up. So how can we introduce them all in one segment? Flawless booking.
So this is where, again, I'm not entirely sure when he officially started, when the first show was, but that could have, the promo that Kevin Owens cut could have been Bischoff's way of saying, I know what's took place before. I know they've got so much talent here that isn't showcased. I know the fans are frustrated. I'm now going to put the spotlight on one of the wrestlers can address it, and now I'm going to put the spotlight on the people who haven't been showcased. So that could have been Bischoff's first big move or first big call to be like, yes, there's an abundance of talent that has not been used, and I'm about to start using these people.
Possibly.
What? I'm sorry.
There's only one negative that I have with this segment. Overall, it was good. And I want the world for Buddy Murphy, I really do. But someone in the office has to change his Twitter password, because the tweets he sends out are just, they make him look like a fool. Because last week, I'll go in reverse chronological order. Last week he said Thanks, Kevin Owens, talking about Kevin Owens bringing him up. And then in the promo this week he says, I don't need Kevin Owens to... Kevin Owens I'll slap my name out of his mouth. It's like, you didn't say that on Twitter last week. And then when Aleister Black's door knocked, Buddy Murphy tweeted out knock knock like a fool. and then something... And then see when they first came on to SmackDown with his video, he said something about, I'm a best kept secret and they're desperate to have me. No, they weren't. It's like, someone please be his Twitter manager, because his tweets are just, come on buddy, get yourself...
But this is where Twitter and TV are completely different from one another though.
They're not though.
Not all the time.
I know not all the time, but
I see these
a lot of the time it is though as well.
A lot of them are an extension of what's going on online. Becky Lynch's profile itself says only work gets done here.
That applies to some, but not everyone.
That gives me a theory though. Clive, you'll love this.
Yes, go for it.
Recently, I'm talking like in the past few months, since she's come back healthy, Alexa hasn't looked great in the ring. She's done okay. She's never been great, but she's looked better in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Buddy's never been a good promo, but he's been erratic. When they officially broke up.
I see where this is going.
Yes.
And this is legit though. When they were together, they openly admitted Buddy helped Alexa with her wrestling. Alexa helped Buddy with the character and promos. They don't have that no more. And you can see both of them on TV. I'm just saying, like, really look what you're saying, Clive. I haven't thought about it, but Buddy's Twitter has been out there, bro.
He could take a lesson or two from Mr. Lorcan on the old Twitter game.
Oh. Only Lorcan's thought process to Twitter is just say everything in caps and it makes it better.
And it works.
To touch on the Alexa thing, like, I've never been a big fan of hers, but see when it comes to like her, see the crap that she's told to say and the stuff she's fed, like she actually makes a good job of that. Mm-hmm. And it just makes you think that if she was given a bit more freedom and free reign to go do what she wants, like she would be even better on the mic. I think when people talk about, well, she's not good on the mic or her character and stuff like that, well,
people say that?
Look, I've seen people say that. Clive has, and we know who we're talking about. I'll say it after the show.
I've not said that at all.
Not you. I says you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right. I get the idea.
So
that's hilarious.
And she, I think she does the best she can in a shitty situation. I know not everyone. I'm just talking about. It's someone that we both know, and it's not someone like on Twitter or anything like that. It's someone completely like over here that shits on her. Like her in-ring work for me has never been that great. But yeah, like you say, in the last few months, it's almost as if she's regressed.
So
right, she was solid, and now, like you said, she's below average again. Go ahead.
So what we need is a GoFundMe to have Buddy Murphy and Alexa Bliss rekindle their relationship with their pig children as well.
Well, see, look, I don't know that it can be fixed because Alexa took the pig. When you take the kids, it's a different situation. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that they can ever get back together. I just don't see it, bro. Like, I knew it was over when Buddy, who had a WrestleMania title match as a champion, brought his homeboy to the Hall of Fame. Like, that's when I knew, okay, this is over. Uh-huh. So I don't. What we need to do is just find them somebody else. Let Buddy have somebody else who can help him with this. Get Buddy a manager.
Uh-huh. Do you know why they split up?
They were never. I don't know. Oh, well, I feel like you have a joke here.
Right, yes, just yeah.
No, I don't, Clive. Why did they break up?
Well, since you asked, Buddy was having a cheat day after an intense workout and decided to have a bacon sandwich.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
That's all,
Even
folks.
worse, if he tried to feed the bacon to Larry Steve.
See, I always thought his promos were just a bit too hammy for my liking.
Well, there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Anything else on SmackDown?
I have one. How long has it been since the Riots broke up? Can we please get Liv back to some new music?
Can I just say something about Liv Morgan? There seems to be this uprising on Twitter that she's not been on TV and she deserves a break. She was on Raw for about 1,000 episodes in a row last year. So calm down with the Liv's not being utilised enough. She was on it plenty of times leading up to WrestleMania.
Happy Charlotte's back as well.
Yes. So's
Happy
Andrade.
Andrade's back.
Yes. To the Liv point, and you're absolutely right, the Riot Squad won every episode. But Liv hadn't even been seen on SmackDown since she got drafted.
So have many though.
And there's all of them. Buddy Murphy, I'm Buddy's biggest fan. Like, yes, they all need to be utilized. Ember Moon, you're absolutely right.
Last week was Roman's first match, I think, on SmackDown.
Roman's wrestled with quite a few.
On SmackDown, has he? I just don't remember.
Well, because Roman wrestles so many matches now, you don't know. The wild card has everything kind of it's skewed because you just see him wrestling. You're not thinking about the color of the damn arena. But there is this surge. It's like the people who think Dana Brooke all of a sudden is like a great wrestler. Dana Brooke is trash.
Ooh.
And God bless her. And I
She's
hope
got like one good move now. Yeah,
like she went from being she had a nice cradle shock. I give her that. That was her finisher, the cradle shock. That was nice. So she has two. She got a nice senton bomb. But she's still trash. And I really hope she gets better, and I appreciate she's working better at it. But we've been through this with Lana. We've been through this with Eva Marie. We've been through this with Rosa Mendez. Like, when you're just not good, you're just not good. And
I saw a report that says that Eva Marie might be coming back.
You know why they said that, right? Because Bayley
I didn't read it.
Bayley had an interview on FS1,
right?
And this is the same interview where they talked about the CBA, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I love it." But yeah, Bayley said one of her favorite feuds was the feud with Eva Marie she had in Full Sail because Eva got so much heat she couldn't even talk, and Eva was like, "I love you, Bayley. Maybe we'll do it again." And you know how the dirt sheets are. That's news to the dirt sheets.
Oh fuck, dirt sheets, man.
Yeah,
I know. I don't have anything else to say about SmackDown.
I know you're wanting to discuss this.
Yeah,
Ricky,
I will. Can I just quickly say this one thing about SmackDown? I loved the way it ended. Cliffhanger.
It started and ended the same way, yeah.
It was a cliffhanger where you had Shane ending it saying, like, I'm going to sort him out, I'm going to deal with him, he's not going to know what's going to come, he's going to get what's coming to him. I like, it's almost like that old school feeling to it where sometimes Raw and SmackDown would end and just abruptly end. You're like, what the hell just happened? Like, you need to tune in to next week. So I like how it ended. It makes you want to be like, right, let's tune in next Tuesday to see what happens now with Kevin Owens.
Well, I got a question for both of y'all, but Clive, did you want to say anything before I ask you a question?
Nope.
My question for both of y'all is, and this stems from today, so every day I listen to Busted Open. That's the Sirius XM radio show with Dave LaGreca, who's just like a fan who works in radio. And Bully Ray's on there. That's Bully Ray's radio show. Mark Henry's on there on Tuesdays. But they were talking about the Kevin Owens situation and him using the stunner and them having an issue with it, not because it's not over, but because they'd rather see Kevin use something that use his pop-up powerbomb and not get the pops from the move, get the pops from being who he is. I feel like he's getting the pops because we associate the stunner and the stunner on a McMahon with Stone Cold in that time. How do you guys feel about Kevin Owens using the stunner?
Clive, I know you've always been a huge KO mark, so you can start us off.
I'd rather he didn't, just because it doesn't seem to hit it well.
Part of that is Shane.
Just in general, it just seems a bit clumsy. And Kevin Owens is not a clumsy wrestler, for the most part. So just from that, I mean, The stunner is a very protected move. It belongs to one of the Mount Rushmores of wrestling. So to see such a famous move being used by someone else other than Austin's quite jarring. That doesn't bother me because moves have been stolen for years and years. It's a bit messy, that's all. Purely aesthetics.
Okay. And that's fair, and because when you talk about moves, Becky Lynch uses a version of the Rock Bottom now.
Oh, that's bad.
A lot of people do.
Oh my God, Shawn Michaels had probably the most famous move at one point ever, and now the Bucks use it 25 times in a match. The Usos use it 15 times in a match. So when you just say about the nostalgia of it, I can rock with that. But your point about it doesn't look very well, I can accept that because yes, it does look clunky. So I can understand that. Like that's a legitimate criticism to me.
Yep.
I fully understand maybe why they want to do it, because like you said, it harps back to the nostalgia thing. I would agree with Bully Ray, Mark Henry, etc., because I think the pop-up powerbomb was such a unique finisher anyway in its own right. I understand that the stunner's a little easier to hit, so you can't exactly hit the pop-up powerbomb out of nowhere kind of thing. The stunner, all it takes is a kick, and then you're straight into it. So, you'd need to grab him, throw him into the ropes, pick him, throw him up. It takes a while to get to it. Maybe if he had a different move he developed himself, I agree with that. I would have loved to have seen him, like I said, if he could use the pop powerbomb or just another move himself. I'm not a massive fan of, I wouldn't say stealing moves. I just think there's certain moves that people shouldn't use. I think the stunner's been one of them. I believe the tombstone is another one. I would rather people don't use that. Certainly I don't like people kicking out of it. Like you said, the super kick is just overdone now. It's in like every single match, more or less. I feel there's certain moves that people shouldn't touch, and that's not a knock on KO. I just think he's that damn great that you didn't need. He can develop another move that can be.
He didn't need it.
Kind of as effective, or I would rather he got. I think he is over, as opposed to it's the move. I think people have always wanted to like KO because I think there's a lot to like about him.
See, Kevin Owens' favourite wrestler is Austin, so I can understand he would be wanting to do it.
And Austin himself tweeted out saying, like, that's perfectly hit and stuff like that. Like, what you've done is great.
If they let Owens use his real finisher, the package pile driver, we wouldn't be talking about any of this.
Yeah.
But he can't use that. No. And one more thing before we move on to Bray Wyatt or whatever you guys want to move on. And every single example you can give me, I can tell you of somebody who else has used it. You talk about the tombstone. At the time when Taker and Kane were using it, Just Incredible was used at the same time as his finish. Yep. Like Magnus uses the tombstone. Like there's Willie Mack right now uses the stunner. Like, so at what point? I guess my question is, and it's a legit question. At what point will we be okay with it? Because I'd rather another star use it organically than I will say that's the one criticism. I would have liked it for a new person to have built it up than for somebody who had an existing finisher to start using it. But I don't care that somebody using the stunner, and I just think that's an interesting conversation because we have such a nostalgia to these moves. But it's certain moves we're cool with other people use and certain moves we're not. Like, that conversation is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the show, but I just wanted your opinion.
It's funny, because I don't want people using a tombstone. I probably don't want people using a sharpshooter. I don't want people using, like, certain other moves. And what's funny about it is certainly the first two moves that I've mentioned are probably two of my three favourites of all time. So read into that how you will.
Favourites.
I don't want you using my favourites move. Yep. Like, I can't get rid of that kiddie thing inside me when it comes to that. But at the same time, I think, just like I said about KO, he's that damn great that he could do something on his own and he doesn't need to use the stunner.
Package pile driver. If they trusted him, the pile driver would be perfect in two scenarios right now. If you let KO use the package pile driver, and can you tell me the Revival wouldn't get over if they started using like the super pile driver?
That's a bit
like. What I mean by super pile driver, I just mean is like Dash holding them and then like Dawson come off the top rope and then you know what I mean? Like they would get because that's so old school, it fits them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm shut up.
We might eventually get people using a pile driver because again how true it was. I think there was an element of truth to it that Vince didn't want AJ using the Styles Clash, and now we see it often enough.
Well, so the story about that is that they were scared that Vince wouldn't like it, so they never told him that was his finish.
Right.
Nobody ever said. That's why he started using That's why he started using the Phenomenal Forearm, because people didn't know that was his finish, and then he just started winning matches with the Styles Clash, and Vince was like, "Hey, that's a nice move," and they're like, "We got him." Because if they would have told him, that would have put in his mind.
I want to say Jericho mentioned that they used it in a match, but didn't tell Vince what it was.
Yep.
They just didn't make the reference to it. But yeah. Shall we just get to what I've been wanting to discuss all night?
Just one thing, and this is just one quick segue because we're getting close to the end. The best finisher I've seen in months and months, Evolve 131, Josh Briggs, very simple move, but my God, is it effective. He lifts the person up as if he's going to do a choke slam, turns it into a powerbomb. Fantastic. That's all I've got to say on that.
When you're fucking 6'10",
you can do that.
You can do shit like that.
Brilliant move. Anyway.
By the way, Josh Briggs and Austin Theory will be in NXT by this time next year. I'm just telling you.
Okay, I liked Josh Briggs. I've still to finish Evolve. Time got away from me. I've got to see the last two matches, but I do intend on revisiting it very soon. Shout out to Drew Gulak and Matt Riddle, who every time he wrestles wins me over more and more. So Matt Riddle, here's a kiss blown your way, son.
You like a year ago, this would never have happened.
No, I want Matt Riddle, and I want Matt Riddle to be my pal.
He's a really cool dude. He seems like a really cool guy.
He's a fucking brilliant wrestler.
I would love to go to Amsterdam with Matt Riddle.
I bet you. Yeah, well, that many people would. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Matt Riddle and Aleister Black eventually? My God, just put them in a cage. Well, octagon.
I thought you meant in Amsterdam together.
Oh well, Aleister's from Amsterdam, so I mean,
he knows the good cafes then.
Yep.
Yes, the cafes. That's exactly what they're going for. Yes.
Highlight of the night.
I'll
let you. What were your thoughts on finally seeing Bray?
I thought it was garbage. I'm joking. Go ahead, Clive.
I liked it. I wasn't hot on it. I just think it was good. I enjoyed it. I've never been as hot on it. I've never been as hot on Bray Wyatt as Ricky has. It was very good though. The music slowing down, the tease of his new music as well. He was wearing the mask and the new gear in the ring, which I liked. Happy with it.
I will tell you that if I would have pictured the perfect entrance and the re-emergence of that character, it wouldn't have been as good as they did it. That was as perfect as I could have imagined it being. The music stopping, the music slowing down to a different speed.
Oh, that was excellent.
It was excellent. All the lights turning off at different times. And then, I don't know if you saw it, but they put the little lights up underneath the turnbuckles last second to make those lights. Mm-hmm. And him just there with just that. Now, the only problem I had was he was in the Sister Abigail too long. But that's wrestling semantics.
Yep.
That's wrestling semantics. I can ignore that.
What I found interesting about it was that it was against Finn Balor, who
There's still unfinished business there.
There is still unfinished business before Bray went to the compound and got deleted and all that stuff. So it's interesting that it was Finn Balor that he came for, because now this is why you pay attention to what they say on Twitter. Did Finn Balor has apologised to many people on Twitter? Did they apologise to Finn Balor?
You mean Bray's apologised?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He has not apologized to Finn.
There you go.
No. He apologized to Roman in the Shield. He apologized to Rock. He apologized to Cena. He
apologized to Jericho.
Jericho, everybody, but he didn't apologize to Finn. And from an outside kayfabe perspective, with Finn being gone, going to leave for a couple of months, if this really is happening, it's a perfect way to put over a character that needs to be put over, and you can the Fiend versus the Demon eventually at like a Survivor Series or a Royal Rumble is going to be fire. And look, Bray didn't have to dress in drag to have the match, so this is a win-win.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as this light started going out, I immediately knew it was Bray.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like I said, Rance, I agree with Rance, who was in Sister Abigail for too long. The moment you kind of saw him with a mask, I leaped out of I was on a train at this point, and I even jumped up in the train early in the morning. No one's on it, so I've jumped out of my seat. I was so hyped and so pumped. Now, what they need, that they have to do now next week on Raw, Bray must appear
as Bray.
Yep, with his little jumper on and stuff.
Yep.
And walk up to Finn as if nothing happened.
Yes, dog. Yes.
Fucking brilliant.
Yes.
It was his alter ego or whatever that done it, and he doesn't know.
Yes.
Ricky,
if they don't do that next week, that is an opportunity missed.
Ricky, that might be the best thing that's ever came out of your mouth, and that includes saying "I do" to your wife.
Thank you.
Well, hold on. Whoa.
No, that could be true. It's Bray. So that's what needs to happen.
That's fire, bro. That's fire.
And now, after that, if Finn is going away for a couple of months, Bray Wyatt has to put him in a hospital bed. I said it last week or the week before. I said it at some point. Bray Wyatt must literally, kayfabe or in real life, I don't care, must put someone in a hospital bed. You cannot have him after it feels like a good couple of months now. Couple of months build to have him lose straight away.
Well, that's why the Finn match is perfect. Because if Finn is leaving, Finn got to lose.
Yep. And then if he does come back and we get the Fiend versus the Demon, I'm sorry, the Demon better suffer his first loss.
Well, revisionist history. The Demon lost to Samoa Joe at a takeover.
Ah, yes.
So it's not the first time. Yeah.
I was so happy to see him. And like I said, but next week they must play out that scenario.
So can I tell you something funny about the story?
Mm-hmm.
So me and my youngest daughter are watching Raw, my 8-year-old, and this happens. And like you, Rick, I jumped out of the bed and like had my hands on my head, like shocked that it was happening. It's so hype. And my daughter was like creeped out. She looked at me and she said, "Daddy, don't they know little kids watch this show? Now I'm gonna have nightmares." I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to have nightmares after what I saw Drake Maverick not wear.
So if that was someone else's kid, like not my own or like not my friend's kids, I would have got that. Was it that Michael Jordan meme?
Yeah.
Get help.
That's what. Huh?
The stop get help one.
No, the other one, the F them kids.
Oh, right.
Kids, I'm sorry, I don't care. Bray's back.
I I essentially said that to her myself. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. And by the way, the little Drake Maverick mention, I legit thought he ain't had no drawers on. I was so scared.
I know.
I legitimately thought homeboy didn't have no drawers.
Did you see the video before SmackDown?
Yes, of him walking around in the shirt and the jacket with just the white, the skivvies, if you will. Yes. Yes.
Poor bastard.
Fantastic.
Man. Go ahead.
I had to tweet out there that a teaser for the podcast that Ricky just dropped the best fantasy booking I've ever heard in all my life.
That is the only concern about this Bray Wyatt character. How are they going to play the difference between The Fiend and Funhouse Bray? And man, look, are we ever going to get another Funhouse? Because those vignettes were classic.
That'll be the next Miz TV thing, the Piper's Pit, the Funhouse thing.
You know what, WWE is the type of company that will like overdo it.
So they would.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But then, can you do it live with the puppets?
Tables?
No, I think it will need to be all like vignettes or like backstage segments, like tape segments.
So it's got to be like, you remember the old Miz and Morrison dirt sheet shows they used to do?
Yep.
Maybe they need to do that. Just have it pre-taped and like have somebody come to the Funhouse pre-taped.
Yeah.
Like the fashion files?
Yes, like
they might even have Finn next week.
Well, no, Finn. If I'm Finn, so you say you booked it perfectly. Finn needs to be walking around pissed, looking for Bray, and Bray walks up like, "Hey, guy, how you been? What you up to?"
It's quite funny because Finn and the Fiend just walk about with a smile on their face the whole time.
Speaking of, we talked about the issue with Ricochet earlier. Dog, if I see Finn on Monday and he's just walking around smiling, like, bro, send him the fuck away. Like, get away for like 2 months. Like, you have to, these guys have to understand that the crowd is reacting off of how you react. Mm-hmm. So if you sell the beatdown, like John Cena was notorious for this, he would get thrown through like 15 tables and like glass panes, and he went through a spotlight. And the next time you see him, he's just the same guy. Like, bro, can you sell a little bit?
I know.
I remember Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose had that, was it Last Man Standing match at Royal Rumble?
And they sold it in the Rumble later on.
KO literally dragged his body along the floor to get into the Rumble match.
KO is a treasure. He is a gem.
So,
by the way, I know this is never going to happen. It just came into my head. I'd be on board for Sami Zayn ending Kofi's title reign.
I'll be on board for Sami Zayn getting something substantial for the first time in his career. How about that?
Sami's, if they wanted, he could be the number one face of that company if they truly wanted that to happen.
Who would have thought in 2019 Kevin would be the generic, not generic, but the genuine babyface, and Sami Zayn would be like the pompous heel.
This will be a good show. So before we finish up, shall we end with a little quiz, Clive?
Yep. Do you want to hear a live rendition?
Always.
Since it's quiet since there's children and asleep. It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and Rance. A fucking WWE quiz. Sorry guys, that had low energy and was shit, and I profusely apologise. Right.
I'm fine with it. That's okay. I always enjoy the live version. What you should do is you should record the live version and put it on Twitter for the people so they can enjoy all this goodness that we enjoy.
Yeah, that can be their text tone. Right. So the quiz this week, it's not exactly an anagram. It's acronyms. Now, we did this once before where it was wrestlers, an acronym of their full name. For instance, BITM was, BTHH was Bret the Hitman Hart. JTSR was Jake the Snake Roberts. So I'm going to give you acronyms and you have to guess what it is. It's not exclusive to wrestlers. So,
I'm terrible at this.
Ricky, what's your buzzer? It's been a while.
I spit in the faces of people who don't want to be cool.
Rance?
Somebody call my mama.
Can I change mine now? Can I change mine to Yowie Wowie?
Very good.
Such a brave mark.
Very good.
What's Someone Call My Mama? What's that from?
Well, so you know it from Brodus Clay, but originally that was Ernest the Cat Miller.
Right. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Sorry, I still don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. And just remember, I am just the whitest guy in Scotland. I know nothing.
He really is. He really is.
Right, the first one is a signature move of a wrestler. Right, and I will give more clues. So it's a signature move, not exactly the finisher. WITW.
W-I...
Oh, Somebody Call My Mama.
Rance?
Whisper in the Wind.
Well done.
I'm gonna get fucking destroyed here.
Do you know that?
You know I'm actually in a quiz competition. I have to show off today.
I'm terrible at this.
That's Elton John's favourite move. Like a whisper in the wind.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Next question. This is a New Japan pay-per-view. RTD.
Somebody Call My Mama.
I forgot my bloody buzzer.
Road to Dominion.
Correct. Number 3. A WCW pay-per-view. BATB.
Yowie Wowie, Bash at the Beach.
Correct. No, I've noticed, you know how I won't go down this road, but there's been many comparisons between AEW and WCW. Well, do you know how WCW had Bash pay-per-views all the time? Do you think AEW are going to have lots of fight pay-per-views?
Fights or fests, yes. It seems like that's the case, yes.
Yep. I'll just leave that there. Number 4. A very famous catchphrase of a very famous wrestler. LTSD.
LTSD.
Mm-hmm. Movie star.
Somebody Call My Mama.
Rance.
Lay or layeth to Smackdown.
Yep, I've got the layeth to smacketh down here. 3-1 to Rance. Number 5. This is a WWF pay-per-view. IYHSB.
Somebody Call My Mama. Somebody Call My Mama.
Rance.
In your house, Seasons Beatings.
Correct.
I loved it in your house stuff.
Now, this was a stipulation of a well-remembered match in 1999. LHOLH.
LHOLH.
Yep.
What was it? LHOLH?
Yep.
Somebody Call My Mama.
Rance.
Love Her or Leave Her.
Oh, yes, it is.
Come on, Rob!
Rob, are you listening?
Come on, Rob! Come on, Rob! He's going to do better than me. I'm doing terrible at the moment. Make it respectable, Rob.
Shout out to Test. This. I wonder what his clue will be in the Who Am I?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, he could definitely hear your shout out right now.
Oh.
Oh man.
Right, this is a number 7 and it's 5-1. Number 7, this is a high impact move that's done by many people. SFPB.
Somebody Call My Mama.
Rance.
Sunset Flip Powerbomb.
Jesus Christ, man. You are on a tear.
I'm terrible at anagrams.
we noticed. Number 8. Right, Rance has won this, by the way, so, but we'll play it. We'll play that. Number 8, this is an A- grade finisher. I don't mean quality, I mean it's not the exact finisher of a match, but it's in a finishing sequence, alright? Might catch you off guard. S-O-N. S-O-N.
I have an idea, but I know this is not it, so I'm probably going to need another clue.
Do you want a clue, Ricky?
I need many clues.
Okay, this move is used by Io Shirai at the moment under a different name.
Oh, somebody call my mama.
Rance?
A 619.
Well done. See,
I was going to say sit down neck breaker, but I was like, that doesn't seem like what it would be. But yeah, I got you.
I thought that would throw you with the numbers of it.
You did. You did. That's exactly what it was.
Number 9, tag team from the mid-teens of wrestling. PTP.
Somebody call my mom. Well, go ahead. You got it.
Well,
you got it.
He got it without the buzzer.
Prime players.
Yay. Number 10. A finisher move. FSFS.
FSFS?
Mm-hmm.
Yowie wowie.
Ricky?
Fuck's sake. No.
No.
Why are you playing? You sure that's not an indie finisher move? FSFS as a finishing move.
Yep.
I need a hint.
How would I go about
Yowie Wowie, can I guess?
Uh-huh.
He has something in common with Matt Riddle. He would also like to go to Amsterdam.
So what's your guess?
5-star frog splash.
Well done. A semi-respectable 7-3. You didn't die.
Right, sorry, I redeemed myself at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, Rob. Good luck.
Well, the only one he really got that I didn't know was that last one. The other two, he just got it before me. So hey, good job.
Congratulations.
Rob, if you're nice to me and you say nice things to me in the group and on Twitter, I'll slide you the questions.
He's still on win.
Rob, if you're not,
I know.
Rob, if you're not nice to me, I'll give you lots of revival questions.
Ooh, something just popped into my mind, and I'll say off air about the final of the quiz.
Okay. Right, Ricky, you want to do all the stuff?
Yes. So you can listen to us, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, where you can also find other shows such as Keeping It Strong Style with Jeremy and Josh, aka J&J Security, One Nation Radio with Rich and James, All Things Elite, NXT Now Then Forever. Hopefully we'll get another episode of that soon. It's been a few weeks since James dropped one. We also have Grown Men Watch This Shit, and the newest addition to the network is Get in the Ring. Hit the subscribe button and you can get access to the podcast and all columns. We are again Ricky and Clive. Follow us on Twitter at Ricky and Clive. Check out the Social Suplex's Facebook group, and that is the Wrestling Squared Circle. Also, you can download the Outsider's Edge every Friday morning, or after Friday for me it is. But yeah, before we go, Rance, you want to let the people know where they can find you and your podcast?
Yes, you can find me at Rab Ropes No, at It's Ray Cash, REYs and Mysterio, CAS, Edge as in dollars. Outsiders Edge is at Outsiders Edge CS. Shout out to Social Suplex, as I am a Social Suplex alumni, but we are at the Chair Shot now. That is at thechairshot.com, where this is where Kyle would say, always use your head.
Also, you can buy your own Ricky and Clive wrestling t-shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees, as well as Keep Your Strong Style, as well as One Nation Radio, and the Social Suplex t-shirts as well.
And for our UK listeners, you can also buy your t-shirt in Primark. You can't really.
No, you can't.
Thank you.
But before we go, Clive, you want to lead us out?
I just wanted to thank Rance for coming on. It was a nice addition to the show.
Well, it's a pleasant surprise, and Rob as well.
On you go.
I was going to say, anytime I'm available, anytime you guys will have me, man. I feel like Ricky and Clive and Friends really means Ricky and Clive and Rance. So,
For a long period it did. For a long, long period.
We're going to get some people moaning about that.
Well, in fairness, I think Rance has appeared more than anyone.
Probably.
No, I think he has, definitely.
Well, as a treat for him, you, Rance.
No.
Now, this hasn't been fleshed out. So
do we need to stretch? You want us to stretch for you while you think about it?
That's all right. So they had some painters in they were painting the performance centre. Just nice performance centre paint, right? So they're painting the outside, and Shawn Michaels, Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano rocked up, and the painter sillily asked those three guys, what do you think of the paint? It's like, it's not bad, but it could do with about 10 more finishes.
That's pretty good.
I like that one. That one.
That's pretty good. That's legitimately good.
Thank you.
Right, so thank you again, folks, for downloading and listening, and we'll be back next week. Take care, folks.
Yahweh Wowie.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.